pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing star 6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, Please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone as well as pressing *6 to unmute your mic on Zoom before speaking. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please note that all Zoom attendees are muted when entering, and you'll need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. For voice-only callers, please unmute your phone.
Good. Thank you. All right. Good morning. My name is Kevin Law, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development, for this Thursday, June 25th, 2026. Before we get to the whole agenda, can we go around the room first with the directors so I can recognize their quorum, and then I'll ask the senior team to introduce themselves as well. So,
Hope Knight, President, CEO.
Isadora Serio Escher, Director.
Martha Lee is representing Caitlin Ezro, Director.
welcome, Martha. This is Martha's first meeting, so welcome, Martha.
Thank you.
Frank?
Francine Del Monte, Director.
Lorraine Harris, Director.
All right, so I will recognize we certainly have a quorum. And Kev, you want to start?
Kev Eunice, COO, and Gemini.
And what do we say? Oh, Gemini?
He's a Gemini.
Oh, Gemini. You know, you can end this right now. Let's go.
Jason Clark, EVP, Division Minority and Women Business Development.
Thank you.
Arden Sacklow, EVP Real Estate.
Liz Luskin, EVP, Small Business and Technology Development.
Simone Bethune, Loans and Grants.
Selena Gomahanid, Senior Program Manager for Connect All.
Matt Acasella, Senior Counsel. Jackson Pacheco Block, Director, New York Ventures.
Joe Taswell, New York City Regional Director.
Tony D'Alessio, Deputy CFO Controller.
Ray Orlando, Chief Financial Officer.
Tremaine Wright, Director of Compliance.
Joshua Bloodworth, General Counsel.
All right, well, thank you all, and we have some guests joining us, some members of the team, and I'm going to stand up. Do we have a bunch of interns here with us today?
We sure do.
Have all the interns stand up. Let us all recognize you. All right, thank you. All right. That's great, good. Well, enjoy. So, thank you all. I want to thank Benson Martin for his service on the board for many years, and now welcome Martha as the DFS rep. And again, before we get to the official agenda, I know I was Noah shared this with me. We lost a member of the ESD family in the last month. His name was Vince Ravishir. And I knew Vince from the Mario Cuomo days. And I actually worked with him on a homeless housing project for women with children who were victims of domestic violence on a shelter in the town of Brookhaven that still operates today, a 76-unit facility. And that's when Vince was at the HELP organization, homeless housing organization. So want to send our best to his wife, Wendy, and his family, and just have a moment of silence for Vince before we get started with our agenda. Thank you very much. God bless you, Vince. I want to remind staff members today that we're being live casted. And for those participating remotely, if you could please keep your phones on mute until you're asked to speak. The public was given an opportunity to both attend and submit written comments on all the agenda items, and we do not have any members from the public here today, nor have we received any written comments on any of the agenda items. Of course, all the directors received all the written materials in advance of today's meeting and can ask questions at any time to the staff. I will now ask, do any directors have any potential conflicts of interest with respect to any of the items on today's agenda? Seeing none, we don't have any. So we'll note that for the record. We'll now head to our first item of business, which is the approval of the minutes of May 21st, 2026. That have been circulated. I will move them. Lorraine seconds them. Does anybody have any comments, revisions, or additions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The minutes are approved. I will now hand it over to Hope Knight, our President and CEO, for her monthly report.
Great. Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, directors. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to summer. How about those Knicks? As a long-suffering Knicks fan, it's great to see the city still basking in the glow. The past month has been very busy at ESD as we work to implement the new programs in the enacted state budget. This year's budget includes several of Governor Hochul's bold proposals, including funding designed to support dynamic high-growth industries in New York State. Elizabeth Morrissey, our Senior Director of Policy and Operations, will dive deeper into the budget as a part of this month's Spotlight presentation. Earlier this month, I led a global New York trade mission to the Dominican Republic and Jamaica. This was a follow-up to the governor's trip to the Dominican Republic last November. Representatives from 10 New York State companies joined us to make connections and explore opportunities in these markets. I was also recently traveled to Los Angeles with members of our motion picture and television team. We met with several different studios and industry organizations to promote New York State as a prime location for filming and post-production. These were important meetings to further grow our relationships and keep New York State competitive. And on Tuesday, I joined Governor Hochul to celebrate the new Buffalo Bills Highmark Stadium. The $2.1 billion state-of-the-art facility is impressive inside and out, And it was exciting to watch this project come from concept to completion. It was one of the first calls that I had when I started as commissioner thinking about playing for this new stadium. The project surpassed the state's 30% MWBE utilization goal, representing more than $490 million in contracts, and over $250 million of those were to Western New York MWBE firms. And I just want to say quickly, one of the contractors, a female construction company, pulled me to the side and said, listen, this has changed the course of my business. I got $22 million worth of contracts on this project, and because of that, I'm going to be able to work on the Wadsworth lab project in Albany.
Oh, wow.
So this is what we're trying to do.
Right.
The stadium project was the result of a lot of hard work, both on the ground and behind the scenes, and there were a lot of people in ESD involved, but I'd like to especially thank Steve Rinelli, Steve Golick, and Pam Litt for their tireless efforts, along with the entire Western New York team. And if you're planning to catch a glimpse before the new stadium opens for the opening game, the first scrimmage will be held on August 8th. And I just want to double click on, your mention of Vince Ravashere. He was a longtime member of our policy team. He played a key role in helping ESD navigate New York's climate laws. He led analysis on Micron's nation-leading sustainability commitments. He kept the agency informed of changes in the evolving offshore wind industry and spearheaded interagency efforts to support sustainability with the Empire AI project. His work reflected the qualities that he brought to the office: kindness, thoughtfulness, humor, and intelligence. He was a valued colleague and friend, and we too want to offer our deepest condolences to his family and his wife.
Great.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Hope. Hey, Hope, with your trip to the DR, other than tourism, do we actually have, some business connections? Are there any New York businesses that do a lot of work in the DR, or DR companies that do a lot of work?
There is some trade. We're trying to develop more. We brought a Buffalo company there that is in the defense industry that actually met with the Minister of Defense, and he was very interested in this product. So we hope that.
Good.
Yeah.
And that was the goal of trying to do
that's
some
right.
planting of seeds.
That's right.
Great. Good. All right. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Hope? All right. Well, Hope, thank you very much. And go Knicks and go Bills. That is exciting. All right. Next up, we have Anthony D'Alessio. He's our Deputy Chief Financial Officer and Controller, and he has a presentation tonight for us. Anthony?
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Directors, Commissioner, ESD team. The Public Authorities Law requires the annual approval by the corporation's Board of Directors and certifications by the President and Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Financial Officer of certain financial reports. The respective reports of financial information set forth in the consolidated financial statements and independent auditor's report March 31, 2026 and March 31, 2025, as prepared with the corporation's independent audit firm, EFPR Group CPAs, PLLC. The audit report for the fiscal year ended March 31, 2026 contains an unmodified, unqualified, clean opinion reflecting that the consolidated financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position, results of operations, and cash flows of the corporation and its respective subsidiaries. In addition, the independent auditor's report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance, addressing whether control deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal control exist, did not identify any deficiencies or deficiencies that would be classified as material weaknesses and affect the line item amounts in the financial statements. The audit firm of EFPR was able to obtain reasonable assurance that the corporation's financial statements are free of material misstatement by performing tests of compliance with certain provisions of laws, regulations, contracts, and grant agreements, including the corporation's investment guidelines and other matters. Non-compliance with any of these could have had a direct and material effect on the financial statements and line item amounts on those respective financial statements. Included in the materials presented is the complete audit report for the fiscal year ended March 31, 2026. Please note that the preparation of the audit report included approximately a 31% participation by MBE and/or WBE firms, minority and woman-owned business enterprises, and a 6% participation by an SDVOB, service-disabled veterans-owned businesses firm. The audit report was presented to the Audit and Budget Committee earlier this morning and was accepted without comment. With us today is Douglas Zimmerman, a partner at ESD's audit firm of EFPR, and at this point, we are happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tony. Yeah, so the Audit and Finance Committee meeting, we just met prior to this meeting, and you got a thorough briefing, and we're assured by Anthony Ray and our outside accountants as board members and our fiduciary duties, of oversight, no red flags, they had no concerns with anything related to management, and that all, programs that they reviewed, they found nothing noteworthy. So we should all feel comfortable that Ray and Tony oversee a very good team of professionals here, and we have a terrific accountants who help us on the outside, and that as board members, even though we oversee a huge, multifaceted, hundreds of millions of dollar type of entity with many subsidiaries, we're in very good shape, and we as board members could sleep at night knowing that the team here is doing everything that they need to be doing, and outside eyes confirm it. So, Ray, did I say everything you told me to say?
You should all sleep well knowing that Tony and I don't sleep.
No, I meant that was all serious, and because that's our role here as a board. So, does anybody have any questions for Tony or the outside accountants? All right. Now, we need to take an action on this. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. We have no comments from the public on any of these matters. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. All right. Well done, guys. Okay. We will continue on with corporate action items. Next up is Josh Breitbart. He's our Senior VP for Connect All. Is Josh with us live or on the phone?
I'm on the phone, Chair.
Okay. Hi, Josh. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair, President Knight, and members of the board. Connect All is requesting that the board adopt the amended Affordable Housing Connectivity Program and related initiatives guidelines and authorize the taking of related actions. On April 20th, 2023, the Board of Directors approved the Affordable Housing Connectivity Program guidelines. To date, the board has authorized $35,583,863.88 under this program, drawing on an award of federal funds from the U.S. Department of Treasury. The amended guidelines recognize that the program is progressing through the federal funding and allows for further implementation that leverages other funding sources to continue addressing economic opportunity related to broadband service and affordable housing and other regulated housing. I'm happy to take any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Josh? Hearing none, we don't have any comments from the public either. So I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The guidelines are approved. Thank you, Josh. Okay.
Thank you.
Our spotlight presentation today, I'm going to call on Elizabeth Morrissey, our Senior Director of Policy and Operations and Intergovernmental and Legislative Affairs. And she and her team are going to present the spotlight presentation on ESD-related items in the 26-27 New York State budget.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for inviting me to present today on this year's state budget. Overall, this was a very successful budget year for ESD. We secured over $800 million in new ESD program spending with a heavy focus on innovation and community building programs. There's quite a bit to cover, so I'll go through the slides first, but I'll be sure to leave time for questions at the end. Oh, I think I have to click it. There we go. As I mentioned, this was a big year for innovation with over half a dozen new innovation-focused programs. The first is Bolstering Biotech, which is an umbrella term for several programs designed to strengthen New York's leadership in the biotech subsector of life sciences. The first program under Bolstering Biotech is a clinical trial consortium. Clinical trials are critically important in pharmaceutical development, and states that make clinical trials easier and more effective are more likely to attract investment. This new consortium will focus on helping members share access to patients and data to make clinical trials faster and easier in New York State. The initial focus will be on clinical trials for neurodegenerative diseases, since this is a strong emerging need, and this is an area where New York has research strengths to leverage. The next program is Commercialization Grants. A fancier title is still TBD. It's inspired by the success of our former Biodefense Commercialization Grant Program. This new program will help commercialize therapeutics also targeting neurodegenerative diseases. Startups and academic institutions will be eligible for grants to help them get promising therapeutics over the final hurdles of development and into the marketplace. Too far. Sorry. Next, we have our new quantum commercialization hubs. Quantum technology uses the unique behavior of subatomic particles to process and measure information in new ways, which will transform fields like computing, medicine, and advanced manufacturing. For example, quantum particles can be linked to transmit information in a way that is unhackable, which will open a new frontier for secure financial transactions. New York State is already a leader in quantum research, so these new hubs will focus on commercializing new research discoveries into revolutionary new products and services. The hubs will also serve as incubators for quantum startups and will foster quantum technology adoption in their regions. Keeping with the high-tech theme, we have our Downstate Semiconductor Design Center. As you all know, New York has a thriving semiconductor ecosystem, but one area where we have room to grow is chip design. Design is the earliest stage of chip development cycle, and it's largely digital. It requires advanced computing systems and engineering talent rather than huge factories. This new center is a strong opportunity to leverage New York City's tech talent to support the state's broader semiconductor ecosystem. Because while Downstate doesn't have the space for semiconductor factories, it does have the tech talent needed to excel at chip design. The center will help early-stage startups, design-focused startups, get access to cutting-edge equipment, and will foster connections with industry leaders. While incubation of startups will be key, the center will also foster design activity and investment from larger companies as well. Next, we have the Governor's Manufacturing Modernization Program. This is another umbrella term for two separate programs intended to make New York's small and mid-sized manufacturers more globally competitive. The center's component will focus on increasing existing support for existing technical assistance centers that help small and mid-sized manufacturers. The goal is to help these existing organizations scale up their capacity and expertise to help advise manufacturers on critical emerging technologies like AI, robotics, and cybersecurity. Each selected center will focus on one in-depth specialty, for example, AI or cybersecurity, and will offer in-depth consultations and assistance on that topic for manufacturers statewide. The Direct Manufacturers Program, another one where we're still working on a flashier name, will help small manufacturers invest in expansions or advanced technologies to expand into emerging sectors like clean tech or life sciences. An example would be a manufacturer who wants to pivot from making oil furnaces into electric heat pumps. So in addition to our innovation programs, we have several new community building programs. First is the Rochester Monroe Transformation Initiative, which is $225 million that will give Rochester and Monroe County an economic boost by funding a wide range of potential projects with a focus on those that will have a transformative impact. We also have New York Space, which stands for Saving Performing Arts and Cultural Experiences, which is $10 million in capital funding to help small performing arts organizations purchase a permanent venue location to help them ensure the long-term viability of their organization. We also have New York Kicks, inspired by the excitement around the World Cup. New York Kicks funds the creation of soccer fields in disadvantaged communities statewide. We also received additional funding for some of our existing programs, most notably $100 million for FAST and $50 million for Restore New York. The $100 million for Power Up is part of the previously announced $300 million. There were also changes in this year's budget to Seeker and CLPCA. These technically aren't under ESD's purview, but since they're relevant to development projects, I'll cover them briefly. For Seeker, the changes mainly involve expediting timelines for housing projects and public spaces like parks, particularly in situations where the land was previously disturbed by other development. It also requires an agency to make the EIS available within 2 years of the determination that a draft is required. And for CLPCA, also known as the Climate Act, the changes include adjusting the timeline for the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and setting 2028 as the new deadline for the state to release regulations on cap and invest. And 2040 is the new date for the 60% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. I realize that was a bit of a whirlwind, but I wanted to leave time for questions. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. One question. I was familiar with a lot of it, but the downstate chip design, is that going to be a competition, or do we already know where that's going?
Yes, we're going to release a competitive RFP this summer, or possibly early this fall.
Got it. And what's downstate? Is it Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island, or is it?
The MTA commuter district is what we're considering Long Island for the purpose of the RFP.
And the RFP is going, and who would the RFP go to? Government, or would it go to universities, or is it going to go to the private sector, or all of the above?
It's going to target nonprofits, but we are hoping for consortium-style applications. We want this to be a very collaborative center, but there will likely be one nonprofit lead.
Very cool. Very new. Very good. And seems like we got every time there's a state budget, and when it wraps up, a lot more work for ESD to do.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is good. We seem to be the go-to agency for the state, the governor and the legislature, and entrepreneurial and nimble enough to get things done, which is great. Anybody else have any questions for Elizabeth? Francine?
Just a reminder, what is the Power Up Fund?
The Power?
Power Up Fund?
That's a NIPA program, but Elizabeth, go ahead.
Oh, it is NIPA. All right. I thought it was
Our Power Up program is similar to FAST New York in that it focuses on site prep for industrial development, but it specifically focuses on power infrastructure because we found that is one of the most pressing needs for industrial sites.
And it helps with the infrastructure, the grants?
Correct. Yes, electrical infrastructure.
And I'm sorry, Francine. So, and the NIPA program that we tie in with a lot of our economic development. What's that acronym for?
Power for jobs.
Yeah.
No, but it has something else. It's something else. It's when companies get allocated certain amount of power for manufacturing jobs. Recharge. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So Recharge could team up with Power Up. Interesting. All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, thanks. Where, Elizabeth, are you based up in Albany?
Yes, I am.
To keep tabs on everything that's happening up there.
Will do, sir.
Yeah, very good. All right, okay. Thank you. All right. We're going to now move on with the rest of the agenda with the regional project section. Starting in Western New York, we have 2 items requiring 2 separate votes. And Karen Utz, our Regional Director of ESD Western New York Region, is on the phone with us.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning, Directors. The Directors are requested to approve a FAST New York Track C funding grant of up to $5,250,000 to the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency to support the development of the 147-acre Ripley Interstate shovel-ready site. The total project cost is estimated to be $16 million. PCIDA's 4 existing industrial parks are already fully occupied. The grantee has secured multiple disbursement structure from ESD. As the grantee is nearing the first required threshold for disbursement, the project is being presented today for board approval. Happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you, Karen. Anybody have any questions? There were no written comments or from the public, so I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Karen, continue.
Thank you. The directors are requested to approve 2 grants totaling $5,725,000, $5 million from RECAP, $725,000 are Regional Council Capital Funds, to the not-for-profit Hispanic Heritage Council of Western New York, Inc. The total project cost is $23,762,267. The project will result in the construction of a new 3-story, 32,000 square foot infill development on Niagara Street on Buffalo's west side to create the first Hispanic Heritage Cultural Institute in upstate New York. The Institute will offer programming and enrichment activities and help advance placemaking. As the project is nearing substantial completion, we are requesting the board authorize the release of funds for this project, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Karen? None. No comments from the public. I will move it. Martha, if you've noticed, we just go around the horn and take turns seconding it. So, second. Thank you, Martha. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Let's move over to our shy colleague, Dan Kalinsky, up in the Syracuse region. Dan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Directors. Today, you are being asked to approve a grant of up to $975,000 to be used for a portion of the cost of building construction, renovation, and furniture and fixtures and equipment at 28 Main Street and 19 Church Street in the city of Cortland in Cortland County. Orchard and Main LLC was established with a specific goal of redeveloping its namesake property located on the corner of Orchard and Main Streets. The project included the purchase, renovation, equipment at 28 Main Street into a mixed-use entertainment and residential facility, and renovation and equipment at 19 Church Street into an entertainment facility. The total project is expected to be approximately $1.8 million, with 13% contributed by company equity. ESD's participation represents 53% of the total project cost. I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, thanks, Dan. Any questions? None. No comments from the public either, so I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. And the motion carries. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
We'll move over to the North Country, and we have Erin Hines, our Deputy Director for the North Country region.
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning, Directors. We are presenting one project for board consideration. The Directors are being asked to approve a $500,000 market resort capital grant to Pendragon, Inc. for purchase, renovation, and construction of a new state-of-the-art community theater in downtown Saranac Lake. The new 120-seat theater features an energy-efficient electrical system, water conservation, plumbing, rehearsal and set design space, new audio-visual amenities, and a larger lobby. Second $750,000 grant will be presented later in the agenda and the at the discretion of category. Previously, the directors approved $4.5 million from DRI and Restore New York for this project. Pendragon completed the project in April 2026 at a total cost of approximately $10 million. ESD is now requesting board authorization of the release of funds for this project. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Erin? Aaron, it sounds like a nice project to get ready for the Olympics that the governor is going to lead the charge for, to bring it back to Lake Placid.
We're all on that.
Yes.
Yeah, we're definitely on it.
Good. I assumed your offices would be, so good luck with that, and fingers crossed. No comments from the public either. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move over to Mohawk Valley region. Allison Madmoon, our regional director, has 2 items, and we have 2 separate votes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, directors. Today, the directors are being asked to approve a Track C Fast New York capital grant of up to $9 million to be used for a portion of the cost of site prep, water and wastewater infrastructure, soil grading, and demolition for Tryon Technology Park in Johnstown, Fulton County. Since 2014, when the state of New York transferred the former Tryon Juvenile Detention Facility over to Fulton County Industrial Development Agency, they have been converting it into a business and technology park. In July of 2025, the Industrial Development Agency applied under the FAST New York program to complete infrastructure projects to include upgrades of water, wastewater infrastructure, site soils grading, and continued building demolition. The project has commenced and will complete in December of 2027. The total project cost is $9,995,125, and ESD's participation in the project is 90% of project costs. And I'd be happy to take any questions.
Great. Allison, I'm not sure if it's a question for you or Kevin. How much money was put in the FAST program to begin with, and how much money is left, ballpark?
In the prison funding?
No, the FAST, isn't the FAST?
FAST New York.
Yeah. FAST. Was it like 500 million?
Up to, I think, 400.
Right now.
Right now,
Right.
we've allocated most of the 300 that we got. We just got another 100 this year.
Right.
So most of the 300 is allocated, maybe 260 to
Something like that.
So most of the money has been spoken for?
Yeah.
Got it. All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Allison? We don't have any comments from the public either, so I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Allison.
The second project the directors are being asked to approve is a Round 11 Regional Council Capital Fund grant of up to $850,000 to be used for a portion of the cost of construction and infrastructure development for a 17-acre flex-based site. Mohawk Valley Edge developed this flex-based site at Mercy Nano Center to support the supply chain for the growing semiconductor industry in the Mohawk Valley. The project addresses a critical shortage of modern single-story warehousing facilities. And to satisfy the project requirements, they built a 50,000 square foot facility, but it is expandable to 150,000 square feet for future phases. The total project cost is $13.8 million, and ESD's grant is 6% of the overall project costs. And I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Allison? None. No comments from the public, so I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move over to the Capital Region. We have 2 items, 2 separate votes. We have Joseph Landy, Economic Development Program Specialist. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good morning, directors. Today we are requesting the directors approve a $6.2 million DRI Round 1 capital grant and a $750,000 Restore New York Round 5 capital grant to the City of Glens Falls for a portion of the costs associated with revitalizing an underdeveloped street corner into a food hub and mixed-use space in the city's DRI zone known as Market Square in Warren County. The total project cost is approximately $16.2 million. In July of 2017, Glens Falls was awarded the first ever downtown revitalization initiative for the Capital Region. In late 2017, the project scope was expanded to include demolition, site prep, and asbestos abatement, so Restore New York funds were awarded. The combined DRI and Restore New York funds facilitate the demolition, adaptive reuse, and redevelopment of 6 properties in downtown Glens Falls into a single 10,000 square foot public market, known locally as Market Square. The project includes additional funding from New York Department of State to construct a pocket park within the commercial complex. Additionally, 3 separate long vacant dilapidated buildings were restored and converted into modern mixed-use buildings containing 3 commercial spaces and 18 market rate apartments. Funds were used for real estate acquisition, demolition, construction, renovations, infrastructure, site work, FF&E, and soft costs. The project is consistent with the Capital Region Strategic Plan's place goal of revitalizing abandoned and underutilized commercial or residential developments. Project will also advance the goal of increasing foot traffic around downtown areas. I am happy to answer any questions.
Thanks. Anybody have any questions for Joe? Hearing none, we don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Martha seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Joseph.
Thank you. Secondly, we are requesting the directors approve an $800,000 REDC Round 13 capital grant to the Community Loan Fund for a portion of the costs associated with improving accessibility deficiencies in a building located at 153 South Pearl Street in a distressed neighborhood in Albany. Total project cost is approximately $2 million. The Community Loan Fund is a community development financial institution. They provide loans, training, and technical assistance to nonprofits, low-income, minority-owned businesses. The Community Investment Trust is the redevelopment of a New York City-style mini mall in a mixed-use building that serves the needs of Albany's South End residents as well as downtown workers. The project is a capital investment in the transformation of the space from an underutilized commercial space to the Community Investment Trust, which leases commercial space to BIPOC and low-income businesses and nonprofits. Community Investment Trust also offers ownership shares to residents who live in Albany zip codes that are distressed or formerly redlined. These upgrades will promote future development and commercial activity in Albany by providing retail space that is accessible, code compliant, and conveniently located. Specifics of the project included installation of an elevator and fixing structural issues like rotten columns and failing floors. Funds were used for construction, renovation, infrastructure, site work, and soft costs. The project is consistent with the Regional Council's PLACE strategy to leverage community revitalization and development to drive investment, vibrancy, and industry diversification by facilitating infrastructure improvements to support growth. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Joseph on this one? Don't see any. No comments from the public. So I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Let's move over to the Mid-Hudson region with Linda Malavi, our regional director.
Good morning, Chairman Law, Commissioner Knight, and directors. The directors are requested to approve a $1 million Regional Council capital grant from Round 13 for Scenic Hudson's $43,412,767 renovation and expansion project located in the city of Poughkeepsie in Dutchess County at the former Standard Gauge factory. ESD is supporting a portion of the public amenities for this project, which include an outdoor pavilion on roughly 3 acres of public land for community use. This represents approximately 2.3% of the total project cost. And this project aligns with the MHREDC's live, work, and play strategies by adaptively reusing a brownfield, retaining residents to work in a revitalized area, and attracting visitors to this newly created outdoor public space. And I'm happy to take questions on that.
Any questions for Linda? None. We don't have any comments from the public. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. It carries. Continue, Linda.
Great. The directors are requested to approve a $1,250,000 Regional Council capital grant from Round 11 for an infrastructure improvement project for the town of Clarkstown in Rockland County, where economic growth has been thwarted by flooding, parking issues, and general accessibility issues in the area. This represents approximately 8.6% of the total project cost, which is $14,500,000. And the town of Clarkstown has replaced 2 undersized culverts to address flood mitigation, redesigned a dangerous road intersection 119 and created new parking spots and various street improvements. And the project is mostly complete except for paving, which should take place next week. And this project aligns with the MHRDC's LIVE strategy, focusing on investing in infrastructure improvements to support economic growth in our downtown. And again, happy to take any questions on this.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Linda. No questions, no comments from the public, so I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Next up, in New York City region, we have Joseph Tazwell here with us today. He's our regional director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. This is a request for approval of two grants, a Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $1.37 million and a Market New York Capital grant of $1.8 million, both of which will go to the new Museum of Contemporary Art, a leading destination for new art and new ideas, and Manhattan's only dedicated contemporary art museum. New Museum was founded in 1977 and is focused on artists and communities that have historically had limited public exposure. In 2007, New Museum opened its new permanent location at 235 Bowery in Manhattan's Lower East Side. Since opening, this destination has welcomed 4.5 million visitors and reaches 750,000 people worldwide through digital programs. In 2014, the museum launched New Inc., a museum incubator that has supported over 350 art, design, and tech businesses. The two grants will be used in connection with the $87.8 million cost to construct a 60,000 square foot expansion to its existing building. This expansion will nearly double the museum's footprint, expanding gallery and program space, enhancing educational offerings, providing shared creative workspaces, and supporting more creative businesses through its incubator. The expansion is expected to draw an additional 500,000 visitors annually. As a result of this project, New Museum, which has 96 existing full-time jobs and 118 part-time jobs, is expected to create 86 new full-time jobs and reach up to 700 participants in training programs. The project was completed this past December. I'm happy to answer any questions.
What street is it located on?
Bowery.
Oh, the Bowery.
Bowery and Prince Street.
So, Joe, I am no museum or cultural arts expert, but what is the difference between modern art and contemporary art?
Well, I suspect that the difference here is that this is really like new art. I mean, modern art can go back 100 years, I guess, right? These are unknown artists for the most part, living artists.
Got it. And if it's contemporary, I guess the showings will frequently change.
Yeah, they have rotating exhibitions,
Yeah.
definitely.
Nice. All right, sounds good. Anybody else have any questions for Joe? All right, we don't have any comments from the public either, so I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Joe. Next up, Ross Levi. He's our executive director for tourism. Ross, you on the phone?
I am. Good morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, directors. The Division of Tourism is asking the directors to approve 2 Market New York working capital grants from round 15. The grantees for these projects have met the required match, which is a minimum of 50%. The first project is a $698,500 grant to the Fort Ticonderoga Association, a North Country region organization that will use marketing funds to expand upon its 250th Northern Department Marketing Initiative. As part of Fort Ti's plans for the national 250th commemoration of the American Revolution, the initiative promotes and markets regional historic sites during the commemoration period through print, digital content, and social media platforms. The second project is a $550,000 grant is a National Comedy Center in Jamestown that will use marketing funds to drive visitation to Western New York by attracting leisure travelers as well as group tours through expanded outreach to the travel trade. The campaign leverages the center's national visibility to inspire travel across New York State through the universal appeal of comedy. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Ross. Any questions? No comments from the public. So I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.
All right, and we have Simone Bethune here with us today. She's our Senior Director of Loans and Grants, and she has some Restore New York grants for us to approve.
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning to everyone. For item A, the directors are being asked to authorize an $8,572,986 grant to the County of Jefferson in the North Country region. Restore New York funds will be used to demolish and undertake waste removal for 178,600 square feet of the abandoned DeFerriet paper mill. As of June 2026, 17 collapsing structures have been removed, and the property has been prepared for future development at a total cost of approximately $10 million, with $1.4 million to be contributed as equity by Jefferson County. For item B, the directors are being asked to authorize a $550,000 grant to the Village of Catskill in the Capital Region to redevelop 19,000 square feet of the historic Catskill Community Theater. The redevelopment will create a brand new film and live performance venue with 488 seats, 2 residential market rate apartments, and a commercial storefront. Renovations began in January 2022 and were completed in December 2025. Redevelopment of the vacant theater totaled approximately $1.8 million with an equity contribution from the developer of $1.3 million and will serve as a catalyst for community and regional revitalization. For item C, the directors are being asked to authorize a $3.5 million grant to the city of Ogdensburg in the North Country region for rehabilitation and redevelopment of 2 historic stone mill buildings located at 119 River Street, totaling 30,000 square feet to create a mixed-use development. Once complete, the development will feature 10 market-rate apartments and enhance the commercial footprint in the area, offering a refurbished space for retail, dining, and entertainment businesses. Completion is scheduled for May 2028 with a total project cost of $4.5 million and an equity contribution of $950,000 from the developer. And I can take any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Simone. Any questions for Simone? No? No comments from the public either. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Simone. And Simone, you could continue now with at the direction of projects.
Thank you. At the direction of grants, refer to those commitments listed in the New York State budget that originate from the governor, the New York State Assembly, or the Senate, and ESD is named to administer the funding but does not select the recipients of funding. For the first item, the directors are being asked to approve $5,104,414 of a $10 million Regional Economic and Community Assistance Grant to the City of Buffalo for initial construction related to the development of a new Department of Public Works campus. The grant is being made at the direction of the Executive Chamber. Buffalo's Department of Public Works faces significant challenges due to limited storage space, aging infrastructure, and deteriorating buildings. The department's fleet of vehicles needs additional storage space for the massive amount of salt maintained for blizzard conditions. The current outdated facilities are hindering the department's ability to provide essential service to residents, protect vital equipment, and reduce the environmental impact of operations. The city identified developer Uniland to facilitate the purchase of 1000 Bailey Avenue and 250 Bates Avenue to house the new campus, along with a 9,000 square foot salt storage barn construction. To date, the city has completed purchase and acquisition of the parcels and is now reviewing initial designs for the structures. Once the required environmental reviews have taken place, the city will seek directors' approval of the remaining $4,895,586 to complete construction of the salt barn. As the city has completed the purchase of the parcel and is working with a design team to finalize the drawing for the salt barn build, Board is being asked to approve this phased disbursement of funding. For the second item, the directors are being asked to authorize an executive chamber-directed grant of $750,000 from fiscal year 2026-27 to Pendragon, Inc. from the Community Resiliency, Economic Sustainability, and Technology Program. The grant will be used to assist Pendragon with funding the creation of a state-of-the-art theater in the North Country. Pendragon is a theater company located in Saranac Lake that brings world-class theater to the local community. This grant is being made in concert with the $500,000 Market New York grant presented earlier in the meeting by Aaron Hines. As of April 2026, Pendragon has purchased and completely renovated the 10,000 square foot facility to create its new home. Total project costs were approximately $10.8 million, with the theater contributing almost $3.8 million of its own funds. Because the project is complete, ESD recommends the approval of this grant. And I can take any questions.
Okay. Any questions for Simone? None? No comments from the public? So I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? And the motion carries. Thanks, Simone.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to the Office of Strategic Workforce Development. We have two items, two separate votes.
Let me follow up with you offline about that, just because I don't know.
Michelle Clark.
Outside of the SBA, that appropriation is not coming.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Directors, and good morning, Commissioner Knight.
Hey, Michelle, before you start, hey, there's somebody whose phone is not on mute. We know who you are. And
That's right.
so please put it on mute. All right, Michelle, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The directors are requested to approve the release of funding to Clinton, Essex, Warren, Washington, BOCES, doing business as CVES BOCES, in the amount of $3 million. This capital grant for the Office of Strategic Workforce Development will be used to construct a new 155,000 square foot building that will serve as the new Champlain Valley Technical Education and Careers Campus, so CD Tech Campus. The new facility will provide updated lab spaces, eliminate wait lists for students, and increase the number of postgraduate industry placements. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds to carry out this project, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Sounds good. Any questions? No?
Absolutely. We would want to see a significant expansion.
Thank you, Chair. The directors are requesting.
No comments from the public.
Storage and choosing, childcare stipend or transportation.
Hello?
That's definitely
That's
Talking
interesting.
about childcare.
Right. Well, all right.
Is that Megan?
We're going to move to the fire spot. The directors are requested to approve the release
Hold it, we
of
haven't,
funding.
hold it, we haven't voted yet,
Sorry about that.
no, we couldn't hear ourselves over the noise. I moved it, Hilda seconds it, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None, the motion carries. Now, Michelle, you could continue.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate your patience today. The directors are requested to approve the release of funding to the Economic Development Group in doing business as Northland Workforce Training Center in the amount of $1,373,000. This capital grant to the Office of Strategic Workforce Development will be used to build out 3,810 square feet and implement a clean technology training lab to deliver industry-driven training in support of statewide renewable energy goals, and will purchase new training equipment in support of these existing programs. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds to carry out this project, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And there is no noise in the background, so I can actually hear them.
Very good, thank you. Any questions? None? No comments from the public, so I will move it. Martha seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion is carried. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, we have another Connect All item here, and we have Selena Gul Mohammed, our Senior Program Manager for Connect All, on the phone, or is she here? Oh, there she is. Hi, how are you?
Thank you, Chair, President Knight, and members of the board for the opportunity to bring this matter to you today. Connect All is requesting that the directors authorize a grant award and the corresponding general project plan through our municipal infrastructure program. As noted in the materials, the grant is for a total not to exceed amount of $3,841,108.36 to construct wireless broadband infrastructure to serve over 21,000 locations across nearly 450 miles of Genesee County. The grantee, grant amount, and project description are enumerated in the director's materials, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Selena. Any questions for Selena? None. We don't have any comments for the public either. So I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you. All right, we're going to do some New York Ventures now. Jackson Pacheco Block, Director of SSBCI. You're with us here today.
Yes.
Hey, Jackson.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner, and Directors. New York Ventures is requesting authorization for an investment commitment of up to $2 million from the SSBCI Emerging and Regional Partner Program to Streetlight Ventures, a New York City-based firm whose inaugural fund invests in early-stage startups developing urban climate solutions. Led by two general partners with experience in climate finance and policy, the firm has built a strong ecosystem of founders, operators, and investors. Following comprehensive due diligence, New York Ventures believes this partnership will strengthen New York's innovation ecosystem, support climate technology entrepreneurship, and expand access to capital for New York startups. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
And this investment went through the Investment Advisory Committee before you're presenting it to the board?
That program is separate. We have a separate investment advisory committee for direct investments. Our indirect team has done the comprehensive due diligence. We're presenting it
For
to the
this?
board. Yeah.
Yep. And what actually might they be inventing or, innovatively getting off the ground for addressing climate issues? Do we know?
Everything from resilience projects within the city to they have an well, we can't speak directly to certain investments because it's a private business matter, but urban climate solutions, everything from adaptation to water and resiliency projects.
Got it.
It's a mission-based fund.
Mission-based fund?
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So, based on the recommendations from staff and the Internal Advisory Committee, I will move this investment. Francine seconds it. We have no comments from the public. And actually, did any directors have any other questions? Hearing none. So all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you.
So next, the World Trade Center Memorial and Cultural Program Land Use Improvement Civic Project. And we have Matthew Acasella, a senior counsel, with us here today.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yep.
Good morning, directors and Commissioner Knight. The directors are being asked to approve the acquisition of certain easements from the City of New York for property located at World Trade Center Site 2 in Lower Manhattan. The directors are also being asked to approve the immediate conveyance of these easements to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to facilitate the development of a new commercial office tower at Site 2 that will be the new corporate headquarters of American Express. American Express will lease the property from the Port Authority for 99 years and construct the building. The proposed building would largely comply with the World Trade Center GPP that this board has previously approved in the past. However, the proposed building features a slightly different massing and ground floor plan than the previously approved building at Tower 2. These easements would allow for modest encroachments by the proposed building into city-owned sidewalk areas at grade and architectural elements of the building above sidewalk level. We're working cooperatively with the City of New York and the Port Authority for the city to convey these easements to ESD for zero consideration, and ESD will convey the easements to the Port Authority for the same zero consideration, and the acquisition of the easements will be subject to approval by the Public Authorities Control Board, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Matt, I have a legal question for you. It's not a trick question. So we acquire the easement so the building can access it, does the easement get extinguished, or do we just now, are we the owner of the easement?
Well, we'll be the owner of the easement for a moment in time, and then we're going to assign the easements to the Port Authority, which is akin to, giving it to them.
And they'll just be the beneficiary of that easement.
Right.
And the easement stays, and there's zero consideration. Everybody's, the port, ESD, and the city are all working together for it.
Yeah, which is a nice thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. And Art, what was so funny about my question?
Ask Rick.
We have lots of business with the Port Authority. Some of it very smooth. Not all of it 100%.
Very good. Well, now with their new incredible executive director, in terms of Catherine.
But she knows all of our secrets.
She knows. Oh, so that can actually be negative. But I'm sure it'll still be good. So, all right. Anybody else have any questions for Matthew? All right. No comments from the public on this item either. So we'll move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Matthew. All right, next up, we have an item involving the Jacob Javits Convention Center and some digital advertising. And we have Rebecca Pellegrini, the president of the New York Convention Center Development Corporation, here with us or on the phone?
I'm on the phone. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
And good morning, Commissioner Knight and directors. The New York Convention Center Development Corporation, CCDC, is seeking approval of an amendment to modify the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center Expansion and Renovation Civic Project and Land Use Improvement Project General Project Plan. The proposed amendment would allow for digital advertising signs at Javits Convention Center. The signs will be placed on the Convention Center's facade at the southwest corner of 12th Avenue and 34th Street, and the Convention Center's facade at the southwest corner of 12th Avenue and 38th Street. The modification set forth in the draft GPP amendment requires ESD and CCDC to exercise their statutory authority to override certain aspects of the New York City zoning resolution needed to facilitate development of the proposed project. The digital signage will be utilized for promoting events at Javits, as well as advertising and public safety announcements. The signage will generate needed additional revenue for Javits, with approximately 65% of the signage advertised revenue going to the Convention Center Operating Corporation and 35% to New Tradition Media. The CCDC Board of Directors approved of the GPP amendment, as well as recommended the amendment to the ESD Board of Directors in a CCDC board meeting that took place earlier this month on June 2nd. ESD staff prepared the 2026 technical memorandum in order to adequately assess whether any significant adverse environmental impacts could result from the proposed draft GPP amendment, and conclude that the proposed modifications do not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. Subject to there being no substantive negative testimony or comments on the proposed draft GP amendment at the to-be-scheduled public hearing, the ESD directors are requested to authorize adoption of the draft GPP amendment, overriding of local zoning regulations for the specified purposes of the proposed project, adoption of the design guidelines, authorize holding a public hearing, making a determination that no supplemental environmental impact statement is needed, and authorization of actions related to the foregoing. And I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Is the advertising going to be on just one side of the building, both sides, all four sides, or it gives us
It will be on the west side of the building by the West Side Highway. There's two locations, one at 34th Street and one at 38th Street, and it will be contained within the facade envelope of the building.
Can I assume that when the original GPP was approved, digital advertising wasn't envisioned, and that's why we need to make this change now?
Yes, that's correct. And it requires zoning overrides as well.
Okay, good. Anybody have any other questions for Rebecca? Yes.
What's the nature of the local zoning regulations that are proposed to be overridden?
I believe it's, without getting too far into the technical aspects, it's mostly the signage is not necessarily allowed under the current zoning regulations, and that will be overridden in this action.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Martha. Anybody else? We have no comments from the public, so I will move this. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Director. Thank you.
Next up, our last items are the administrative action items that we have Doug Janice, our Senior Counsel for Corporate and Real Estate, will walk us through.
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning, Directors. As a reminder, in order to help streamline your board meetings, we implemented an oral summary presentation process in connection with the administrative action section of the agenda. So you receive a full set of the written descriptive materials for each of these items in your board materials. But rather than having individual oral presentations on each one, I'm going to provide you with a brief summary of all of the items, and at the conclusion, we can take any comments or questions you might have. The June administrative action items are summarized as follows. Item 9A is relative to reexamination of the mission statement and related performance measures. In accordance with the Public Authorities Law, ESD must re-examine its mission statement and related performance measures annually to ensure that its mission has not changed and the performance measures continue to support its mission. Both the mission statement and performance measures were last modified in 2024 to reflect ESD's increased focus on inclusion, sustainability, community revitalization, and housing, and to include specific reporting of programs that feature prominently in ESD portfolio, more specifically, small business assistance and the broadband/digital infrastructure programs. The ESD Governance Committee of the Board of Directors reviewed the mission statement and the performance measures and recommend their annual readoption. Accordingly, the directors are requested to confirm their reexamination of the mission statement and related performance measures in accordance with the Public Authorities Law. Item 9B is relative to acceptance of the fiscal year 2025-2026 performance measure report. The directors are requested to accept the 2025-26 performance measure report. In accordance with the Public Authorities Law and using the performance measures listed in your materials, ESD is required to create an annual report that is consistent with ESD's mission statement and performance measures. At each board meeting, the directors consider numerous projects supported by loans and grants from ESD. These projects occur throughout the state, often leveraging additional public and private investments and retaining or creating jobs in a wide range of industries. This year's report includes 3 charts that illustrate how the mission and measurements have been met. The charts summarize loans and grants approved by ESD in fiscal year 25-26 and are organized by program, region, and industry. So in this fiscal year, 478 companies or organizations were approved for funding by ESD. $1.09 billion in loans and grants were approved by ESD. Approved projects leveraged over $1.6 billion in private capital and $223 million in additional public funds. These investments are projected to result in the retention of 3,018 jobs and the creation of an additional 1,534 jobs. Please note that this is a projected employment, and actual employment is captured in the annual report on jobs created and retained, which is a separate report that is made available to the public at the end of each calendar year. In the previous fiscal year, 660 unique MWBEs received payments under ESD grants and procurements. ESD's MWBE utilization numbers are being finalized and are expected to be presented to the Board of Directors in the fall. Item 9C is relative to authorization to make a statutory payment pursuant to the New York State Electric Generation Facility Cessation Mitigation Program. The Board is being asked to approve one payment pursuant to this program to the Town of Lansing in the amount of $16,329.94 due to the closing of the Cayuga Operating Company LLC electric generating facility in November of 2019. This payment will offset reductions in property tax revenue to the Town of Lansing because of the closure. Approval of this payment will bring total disbursements from the funds to approximately $115.5 million of the $140 million authorized for the program, leaving a program balance of approximately 18% of the authorized funding. Items 9D and 9E are relative to authorization to enter into contracts for workforce training program development for the AI Prep for Jobs and the AI Prep for Internship initiatives. The directors are requested to authorize the corporation to enter into 2 low-income New Yorkers with in-demand AI capabilities and connect them to AI-related work opportunities with leading New York companies. The projects include curriculum development, program delivery, wraparound support services, and job placement. AI Prep for Jobs will place program participants into full-time jobs, while AI Prep for Internships will place matriculated college students into internships. Following an RFP process, Pursuit Transportation Company, LL Inc. was selected as the proposed contractor for the AI Prep for Jobs project, and the State University of New York is proposed for the AI Prep for Internships project. Each contract will have a term not to exceed 2 years and an amount not to exceed $2 million. Item 9F is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for real estate legal services for the 1024 Fulton Street redevelopment project. Board requested to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with the law firm of Bryant Rubino, LLP, for real estate legal services in connection with the 1024 Fulton Street redevelopment project in Brooklyn. The contract will not exceed $150,000 and will have a term of 2 years with 2 additional 1-year extensions exercisable at the discretion of EST's general counsel. All funding for this contract will be provided by the project's conditionally designated developer. Item 9G is relative to authorization to implement the transfer of the market order program back to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets pursuant to the fiscal year 2026-2027 New York State budget legislation. This year's budget requires ESD to transfer responsibility for managing the market order program back to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. Under the market order program, ESD has entered into contracts that are funded by New York State dairy and agriculture industries to provide marketing, advertising, research, and development services to support those industries. The directors are requested to authorize the corporation to 1, implement the transfer of the corporation's responsibilities and contracts under the market order program to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets pursuant to the legislation, and 2, enter an agreement for assignment to and assumption by the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets of the market order program responsibilities and contracts listed in Exhibit A of your materials. And finally, item 9H is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for compliance monitoring services for the Columbia University Educational Mixed-Use Development Land Use Improvement and Civic Project. Directors are requested to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with Landair for compliance monitoring services for the Columbia University Educational Mixed-Use Development Land Use Improvement and Civic Project. The proposed term of the contract is 2 years, with the possibility of 3 additional 1-year extensions, for a total amount not to exceed $1,242,780, inclusive of a $112,980 contingency. All funding for this contract will be provided by Columbia University. And I will now turn it back to our chair, who will call for any questions or comments you may have on any of these items before calling for a vote. We also have item-related staff on the line today as well to take any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. All right, and anybody have any questions on all of these administrative items? For item number A, there are no changes at all to the mission statement. It's the same as last year. So, all right, we don't have any comments from the public on this item either. So, I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. That concludes our official business of the day. Do any board members have any other business they'd like to raise at this time? Here none. I'm going to ask Noah and Arden if I can meet with you for 2 minutes afterwards. So there's, our next meeting is Thursday, July 23rd. So until then, on behalf of the board, I want to wish you all a happy 4th of July, happy 250th anniversary of our country. Have fun and stay safe, and we are adjourned.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.